Hello, it is I, Mark Major, here at the Action Figuratorium. That is the name of my little studio here in Southeast Portland, part of a much bigger studio in even more southeasterly Portland. And today I'm going to be talking about the latest wave of figures announced by the Four Horsemen as part of their Cosmic Legions line of toys. That is their science fiction line, of course. They also do a fantasy line called Mythic Legions. You see how the names work there. They have released a Wave 3 for pre-order, and I always like to take a look at what they have going, what they're offering, and throw in my 2 cents and just talk about the possibilities of what would be cool to get, that kind of thing. So why don't you guys stick around? So I am a big fan of Mythic Legions, and of course when I saw Cosmic Legions come out, I think it was like a year and a half ago, I decided that, yeah, it might be cool to pick up one of these figures because every once in a while you're in kind of a cool space fantasy sort of mood. So let's see what we have brewing from these guys. This was just announced, I think it was yesterday, or maybe even the day before. Anyways, this is pretty fresh. Here we are with my desktop view. So to be clear, let me click over here. This was the very first wave of Cosmic Legions that they had for offer here. So there's a couple of hand packs and a weapons pack in addition to the characters. Then they did a Wave 2 that is basically 5 characters and a weapons pack. And now we are on what I would call Wave 3, which is 6 characters and no accessories pack. I always recommend to people, if you're looking for something to invest in, to resell later, it's always good to scoop up one or more of the little accessory packs because, for one, a lot of people skip those and they will become something that they're looking for later on down the line that they didn't know they were looking for. You know, it will occur to them later that, yeah, maybe I should have as many sets of hands or as many type of weapons as possible. Also, weapons packs, accessory packs are almost always the least expensive thing, so it's the least amount of risk. You can go in and you can buy a whole bunch of them for what it would cost to get a figure. So to anybody out there who's into collecting toys in order to resell them later, the accessory packs are always going to be a win. And there's none in this wave. So now what are you going to do, collectors? Let's go through these guys, shall we? And just kind of give our remarks. So at this point, these guys are now into reusing body parts. And some of these figures you can tell are repaints. We have, to begin with, this alien guy. If I can get it to go, there we go. And he's kind of a cool sort of like alien priest man. I think that guy's kind of cool looking. Of course, if you saw the last wave, you would have seen this guy. And so this is clearly, you know, a reuse of this alien body parts, head, etc., a repaint. Right, we're all on board with that, and that is kind of where we're at with the line, is that we are in the realm of repaints, and we get kind of a repaint there. Here's another one of these, they have one of these Sphexians, I guess they're called. They're kind of these cool insectoid men. Look, he's got a drill with him. And, of course, the very first wave, you know, you had some Sphexians. Here's the Sphexian Commander. So you can see that they're reusing body parts. We're getting into repaints, as I stated, and that's okay. That's in fact expected. Just pointing out that that's exactly where we are in the line. This guy, this dragonoid creature, Scourge, check this dude out. He's kind of like this green dragonoid. Well, the Mythic Legions had a wave with this guy. He's a dragonoid, and you can see that they are, it looks to me as if they are now taking some of the reptilian figures or etc. monster figures from Mythic Legions, and they're kind of squeezing them into the Cosmic Legions. They're starting to cross-pollinate the reusing of parts. If you got them, use them. No one is deducting points for this. In fact, it's a pretty crafty way to get more variety into your genres. And so I think that that's a clever sort of toy manufacturing hack on the part of the Four Horsemen. Of course, here we have one of these TU5CC pilots. We've seen these body parts before and these guys before in Wave 1. Here's a guy, here's a sentry, here's an officer, right? So with this wave, we're getting plenty of repaints. However, there's this guy, and I don't know if he shares parts with any other thing specifically, but this is clearly a nod to Masters of the Universe Many Faces. And by me saying this, this isn't some sort of like I'm breaking news. We all know this, but it's another one of the things that the Four Horsemen do is they take existing action figures, specifically I think from the Motu line more than anything else. I think sometimes they may have done something with some nods to some of the original LGN Dungeons and Dragons figures, but they definitely take nods from Motu, which they worked on the Motu Classics. I'm not sure if they did every single sculpt. Maybe they did them all up until the end when it finally, the last few subscription waves went over to, I think it was Super 7. Trying to recall the history of that. Anyways, there's a Many Faces guy, and I'm sure there are people who, when they saw this, they went absolutely nuts. It's the kind of thing that even if you're not into Mythic Legions, but you're into Motu, you might think of picking one up. And then, of course, we've got this last sort of figure, kind of the token human. At this point, you always get to, you know, of your alien races, one can always be a human. And it's kind of always the one that people relate to. So, so this looks pretty cool. I see some reuse. She's got this skirt, which actually I have this exact soft goods on a some type of a like an elven queen lady. The gun's pretty cool. They're probably reusing some of the armor pieces. Maybe I haven't really looked too in depth. She's got a cool. Either that's a helmet that goes over the head, or else that is a separate head sculpt. Let's take a look. What do we see here? This comes with the accessories, belts, hands, different guns. Good paint job on the guns, by the way. It looks very cool, and probably wasn't that difficult to do. I really like the face sculpt on this. I like the dots coming down. Maybe that's tattoos. Maybe that's what these people are born with. So, Kalian Shun, and if we look over here at the store, you can see that 4 of them are $37. And there's a guy for $48, and then the big giant dinosaur man, the dragon guy, is $65. Now, how I would have done this is, out of the 6 figures, I would have had 3 at $37, 2 at $48, 1 at $65 to make kind of more of a pyramid shape. But they're definitely going the right direction. If they were all $65 and 137, that wouldn't make any sense. So as far as what to buy, you know, with these, I always recommend that you pick out the ones that you're going to love, and the ones that you think are cool, and the ones that you know, I mean, the ones that have the biggest sort of like fun factor and impulse buy, get them. If you're someone who's just buying these to put away for some type of an investment without the recommendation of the accessory pack, I'm gonna have to say that the I don't know, the one that always goes for the most money is the one that has the smallest supply, which is the one that they sell the least of. It's usually the most expensive item because people are cheap at the end of the day. They'd rather spend money and get 2 figures than spend the money and get a giant figure. So I'm going to say that the Dragon Man is probably the one that you'd want to buy a couple of and just put away, because he's probably going to go up in the most value. I think a lot of people are going to get the blue-haired crazy woman with the gun. I think a lot of people are going to buy the Manny Faces one because of the Motu thing. I think people who started out buying the Specs and the Bug people are now going to be stuck buying any Spexin that comes out. So if you bought the other guys, you're probably going to buy the Mine Worker. Same thing with the Alien Man. If you got the other Alien, you're probably going to want to get this. You're probably going to want to sort of, make your teams out of your aliens. I think it's going to be really balanced. I think we're going to see about an equal amount of these figures sold. I think the TU5CC Pilot is the least exciting because you don't really get a true face unless there's hey, maybe it comes with another head with an alien. Oh yeah, look at that. Check that out. So I guess you get that. That's not bad. That's not too bad. Maybe, and they have a bunch of these figures in the previous wave. There's the Sentry, there's the Science Officer, there's an Engineer. So maybe, who knows, maybe the Pilot will sell really well. It's going to be tough on this, to be honest with you. I think the big green slug guy is going to be the one that goes up in the most value. I think they're going to sell the least of those. I think everything else is going to go sell pretty evenly, pretty well. So that is it for this episode. If you like hearing people talk about Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, I'm your guy. I will talk about this stuff all day long until people don't want to hear it. So if you do like that, please subscribe. As always, try and give a like when you can. We'll even take dislikes. What could go wrong? Anyways, see you the next one.